From World War I through the Great Depression, millions of African Americans began moving out of the South in what is known as the Great Migration. As the United States entered World War II, a second wave of the Great Migration began as African American families left the often violent racism of the South in search of new opportunities in the North and West. Jackie Peterson, who curated the exhibit Atomic Frontier: Black Life in Hanford, describes the Great Migration from the South during World War II.
World War II was one of the largest waves of the Great Migration. Sparked a lot of movement across the country. A lot of urban centers had a lot of these job vacuums that were created by mostly white men going off to fight in combat. And so a lot of African American men in particular, but also women and families just packed up and decided to take their chances, particularly in urban centers in the Northeast and the Midwest. I think for a lot of African American folks living in the South, they were living through Jim Crow, which was a very serious discrimination, segregation, repression, oppression. It was very difficult for people to get jobs, particularly following the Great Depression. There was barely work for European Americans, let alone African Americans, and so people were making 5-10 cents an hour if they were lucky to find a job working across the South. I think that things were so bad for African American folks that there were very few opportunities for them where they were living. So I think there was this feeling that there had to be something better. And so when the United States decided to enter World War II, that opened up a lot of doors for people.
Historian Valerie Steele Roberson describes her own family's experience living in the Deep South.
During the Great Depression, down in Alabama, they were really poor, and the good thing about my family is that they were always able to produce enough food for everybody to eat, and they essentially sort of lived together. My great-grandmother, grandmother, aunts, uncles, cousins, they would take everybody in and work the farm and try to get jobs outside of the home to make ends meet. So right before the 40s, when all of that was going on, they were longing for an opportunity to make some money, to better themselves here in life. And with the war starting and blacks going off to fight for the country, because they've always been patriotic, always wanted to be a part of it, to do their part, there was a lot of pressure put on the government to allow blacks to work on the Manhattan Project so that they wouldn't have to have a March on Washington, which was being threatened because a lot of people were starting to realize that if we're giving our lives for this country, we should be treated as American citizens should be. Everybody should be treated equally. We want a bigger piece of this pie so that our families can become better and prosper as well. We want to be treated as equal citizens.